everybody asks, you're Chris Fiffie. I'm going to hit the monitor.
Hello.
That
Chris
way you're picking up channel 2. Channel 2 is the CB output.
Can't believe we got Chris Fiffie driving there. Looking good, driver.
Haven't been this long in a long time.
Are you done driving Chris around? We're doing rolling CB interviews.
Oh, are you?
And I'm going to be driving this. And we're going to get the Contender out, and then Chris is going to get in the driver's seat and drive it.
Cool. Hi, I'm Chris Fiffie. Chris is driving Contender.
Is he really?
Yeah. We're interviewing Chris.
So many cords in this car, I feel like I'm on life support.
I know, right? Don't go blowing up note now.
Pick up your lot lizard and we'll be ready. This camera messes with your head because you're going one way and it shows you're going the other. Yeah, you got to give these guys a hand for sitting here on the side of the road helping somebody out. Well, Asphalt Dragon, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, Randy, most people know me as being from Florida. I grew up in Deerfield Beach and stayed in Deerfield for most of my life until I started moving around the state of Florida. But we're doing about 55 here. We need to go ahead and get us a couple miles per hour going here so we don't get into any little predicaments.
Well, blow the coal. Let's go.
Grab that left lane there if you can, and I'll follow you.
So what have you learned, Chris, from doing all these videos?
Well, being a former driver and being out of it for such a long time, I think it's been about 10 years or more. Earlier this year, I was in South Dakota, and Wesley Wolf let me bring one of his trucks back there to his ranch. And it had been about 10 years since I drove, and of course that was just bobtail. So being here in Contender, how long are we, Doug?
We're about 80 feet right now.
Doug says we're 80 feet, so being stretched out to 80 feet, it's bringing back some memories. It's bringing back that old challenge that I love.
Now, I know you've met a lot of cool, interesting people, and talked to a lot of cool, interesting people, and done a lot of interviews with some cool trucks. I mean, what's some of your highlights?
Gosh, well, there's a lot of highlights. Like I said, I've met a lot of people, and I guess the highlight would be being able to connect with guys and understand what they do and who they are as people, and how they take their job seriously, but they have fun doing it, and they bring a love for building a truck, and they mix that with there's mix. They mix that with their work.
Well, I know there's a lot of people out there that appreciate what you do, and hats off to you, man.
Well, thanks, Randy. Well, what do you think about being in a car where a bunch of cameras and whatnot are strapped to it, and you got to look at things, monitor things, make sure things are recording? What do you say?
Pretty well thinking that e-logs really ain't that bad of an idea.
You said e-logs aren't bad of an idea.
Yeah, they're not really that bad to deal with, We'll show you're 80 foot long here.
I'll tell you what, I miss it. I miss driving.
Oh, I bet.
There's nothing like it, as you already know.
Oh yeah.
It comes back within minutes. If you did what you did well and didn't have any issues, then getting back in the seat is not a problem at all.
Oh, absolutely. You can take the guy out of the truck, but you can't take the trucking out of the guy.
Yeah.
That's once you've ever been stuck with them hard, it's hard to get away from them.
Yeah, and that's what I say all the time. How are we looking there on the camera there? You still at F8?
Yeah, we're looking good.
Wow, when you see somebody else driving the car, that kind of puts it into perspective about how you got to time and drive and speed.
I know there's a lot of people that watches these, and I mean, all I can say is we're kind of glad that we met up with you and became pretty good friends out of the whole ordeal. That was probably the best part of it for everybody.
Well, you're right, because last year this time we were sitting over there at the Fabric right there to our immediate left, and you guys were getting ready to bring a machine over there to GBATs, and you guys didn't know me from a hole in the wall. And I show up with a bunch of cameras and whatnot, and a year later, and several shows later, we've gotten to know each other, and I mean, it's stuff like that I enjoy, really getting to know people and having fun along the way.
I need to put you to work hauling loads.
Yeah.
You got it down.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Go ahead and stay straight. We're gonna go down. We'll go down, I think, 2 exits and then flip around and come back.
All right, sounds good. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome to me that, I mean, you make it a point to try to get into people's lives. I mean, you actually listen to them and, you know, tell their story the right way.
Yeah, to be honest, because before I started, you know, doing this and doing what I do, you know, I'd see lots of pictures floating around the internet of good-looking trucks and everything, and we never knew. We never know who. Well, thank you, Doug, for them jigs, sir.
Yes, sir.
We never knew who the truck belonged to. Of course, there might be a name attached to the photo of the truck, but that's about it. And I'm like, you know, it'd be great to know more about the truck, obviously, but also the person behind the truck. And that's where a lot of the interviews that I do have come about.
Yeah, I mean, I think it magnifies the way the truck was made, you know, why it was made, the way it was made, you know, the people involved in it. I mean, a lot of them don't get mentioned that much, but sometimes they do. I mean, they're just as appreciative as we are for getting to see their final work, you know.
Absolutely.
You want to jump off this one or the next one?
Yeah, this one here.
Hit them jakes and come on by.
Look at Randy calling out them camera shots.
You're driving that thing like you never even got out of one. You're doing good.
Thank you, sir.
There we go. We're good.
Well, you ready to move to Missouri? Start working?
Oh, yes, if I ever get fired or lose a job, which I don't have a job and there's nobody to fire me but me, but I guess if I ever wanted to move somewhere else, I wouldn't mind moving up this way. You guys are in a centrally located part of the U.S., so it wouldn't be a bad deal.
I still think we need to go to Florida for the winter, though.
Yeah, I hear that. And I guess one of the other things that I enjoy, or basically, you know, there's been situations where information is needed to get out into the public, and of course, I know I'm not going to affect everybody with the information that I put out, but if it's out there, it's out there, and I consider it the beginning of getting information that needs to get out. And what I'm saying by that, the move over law, which I started talking about, and also you know, things that truck drivers will want to, you know, convey or say to keep their jobs a little safer, or teach some people that are out there on the roads to teach them something to stay safe and whatnot. But I'm happy that I'm in the position where I can do something to help. You know, at least it's the beginning.
Well, that's just it. A lot more people need to realize that the safety of somebody else's life is more important than what's going on in their car. You know, like you see somebody on the side of the road, you do need to move over. You know, they've got a family at home waiting on them too.
What would be the right name for that?
This is a 4-speed auxiliary.
Okay.
This is just your 18-speed, and then you got a 4-speed air shifted auxiliary behind it. Because there's a mechanically shifted 4-speed, and then there's air shifted 4 speeds.
Right.
This has electric over air solenoids on it.
Right.
and where it's got air solenoids on it, and it automatically shifts the 4-speed transmission for you.
Right.
You don't actually move the stick or anything. When you're in fourth, that's all overdrive. Third gear is 1-to-1. Fourth gear is overdrive. Second gear is it starts stepping down from there because you're getting your ratios are going down for your deep reduction.
Okay.
But when you're in third in the 4-speed, that's third in the 4-speed, and up here in 15th is 1-to-1.
Okay.
So, and then from there up, everything's overdrive from there. The way it works when I'm loaded, I drop anywhere from a full gear to a gear and a half. If I'm trying to downshift the auxiliary, I will drop if I'm upshifting the auxiliary, I'll drop about a full gear. So I'll put this up, the auxiliary, the 4-speed, you'll shift up 1 gear, and then you'll pull the 18-speed down 1 gear to a gear and a half.
Okay.
And then you run it the rest of the way out. So that's where your 500 to 800 RPM difference is.
Okay.
Sometimes 1,000. It depends on the situation and the hill. You got to kind of know when you need to grab that extra little bit.
Right.
And then you shift it on out, and then you want to go to 4th gear, you put it in 4th gear, and then you finish shifting all the way out through your 18 speed. This is basically a multiplier of your 18 speed.
Okay.
That's what it is. It multiplies your gear ratios on your 18.
I think you may be enjoying that drive a little too much.
Yes, you are correct there, Andy. Doug is teaching me how to really use the auxiliary box down here, and tell you what, it's something you have to wrap your mind around, and try not to grind too many gears, which I'm not, happily,
Doing a good job.
Because I don't think Jamie would like that if I'm grinding gears and whatnot.
It's under warranty.
It's fun. It's a really fun truck to drive. It
Yeah.
really is. Especially loaded.
Yes.
It's a real fun truck to drive loaded. I mean, we can keep going and go down 43 and like maybe run down to like Thunder Graphics and turn around and come back, or if you want to drive it some more, or I mean,
I drive it all day long. To be honest with you, but this is more than enough.
I mean, you're welcome to drive it any show we're ever at. So anytime you want to get behind the seat and
Nice.
take off, let me know and we'll make it happen.